everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about what in the hell happened to Black Adam. Now, it is no secret, I made my review Black Adam. Me and Seth, I don't know if me and Seth did it together, but I definitely made my review Black Adam. I didn't really particularly like the movie. There are scenes in the movie, there are minutes in the movie, there are sequences in the movie that are cool. But overall, the movie itself is dated, it's dumb, and there isn't really any character in this. It is an early 2000 superhero movie. And it's not quite as bad as Morbius, but it's not that big of, it's only a couple notches, maybe a notch or two above Morbius. And honestly, The Rock, while he's not terrible and I don't dislike him in the movie, he's not exactly bringing anything to the movie to make it like, because he's playing this character, because his version of Black Adam is like, I'm not gonna say humorless, but as a byproduct of playing a character who is so more serious, and he came from the past and he's here now, The Rock doesn't get to use his charm, you know? Like, for instance, in a movie like Jungle Cruise, that movie isn't that great, but you know, The Rock and God damn it, why am I blanking on Ryan Krasinski's wife's name all of a sudden? Emily Blunt. Him and Emily Blunt were so charming and charismatic that they kind of carried that movie. Like, you have a good time with them. The Rock doesn't get to use that charm and charisma in the role of Black Adam. It's like the role is the opposite of what he should be doing with himself. So I've often said, in my opinion, and I know this is kind of a joke / not of a joke, I've always thought The Rock would make a fun Ben Grimm, because Ben Grimm's such a big personality that I've always thought like that'd be fun to have like The Rock do the voice of that. But if The Rock's gonna play a superhero, he has to be able to let his charm fly. And in the role of Black Adam, he really didn't. But that's besides the point. You guys already know my opinion on Black Adam. And the movie, no matter what people want to tell you, bombed. Now, it wasn't like a horrible, steaming pile of bomb, but it bombed. Black Adam cost $200 million to make. $100 million Black Adam's cost $195 million to make, with $100 million, not production budget, marketing with $100 million marketing. So that's what, $295 million. How it works and how it's always worked is you have to double that. You have to double your production and your marketing budget. Then everything after that is profit. That's how that works. That's why James Cameron was saying shit about he had to make over $1.5 billion for Avatar to break even, which he does. He has to make over damn near $1.5 billion for Avatar to break even. At least $1 billion. But I'm sure they're gonna crack that. But I digress. So that movie, yes, The Rock's movie, had to, at the very least, even if some of the numbers, you knock down some of the numbers, most people agree the movie had to make about $450 million at least to break even. The movie, it didn't even crack into the 400s. In fact, I'm not even sure if it cracked into the 390s. So the movie's a bomb. They lost like $70 million on this movie. Now, it will make its money back once it goes to DVD and all these other locations. Well, once it goes to Blu-ray, goes digital, sell some merch. It'll make its money back. Most huge movies like this, it's rare. Really rare for a movie this size, when they have a merch and everything, for it not to make its money back in other venues. It's why Marvel is the way that it is. Because they sell so many toys and so much stuff at Disney World and things of that nature, that even when Marvel introduces a new character, it makes whatever the box office is, you can understand that it makes even more than that in marketing and like toys and video games and stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like it, but it does. Like, these things, that's how this business works. So eventually Black Adam will break even, but not in the theater. And obviously The Rock came out a week or two ago and reviewed that and started throwing out ridiculous numbers like, actually, my people are telling me we're making $75 to $100 million in profit. I'm like, where the fuck are you pulling these numbers from, Rock? Even John Campea, who liked the movie, was like, where is he pulling these numbers from? Because everyone said the same thing. This movie ain't getting no fucking sequel. And The Rock was talking all this bullshit about the hierarchy and this movie, I am gonna change the hierarchy of DC. All this bullshit. The movie came out, wasn't that good, didn't make enough money to even break even, and now he's lying to the public about the numbers, just blatantly, and then he talks all this shit, and then that huge day where all this huge DC news dropped about Wonder Woman being canceled, about Henry Cavill not returning, which turned out to be true, and all this stuff dropped. And one of the things that was in there that I barely mentioned, but I'm mentioning now, is that Black Adam isn't getting a sequel. That they're done, they're rebooting, that Black Adam shit ain't going. And you notice, you really haven't heard much from The Rock since. Sure, he's made a comment or two to come out and say, certain things. But now Henry Cavill's agent, which I didn't know this, Henry Cavill and The Rock have the same agent. I think it's like his ex-wife or something. Henry Cavill dropped her as an agent, which clearly indicates that he was not cool with all this shit that went down. There is chaos over there with The Rock. I don't know how he's gonna get this back, because overnight, like, it was crazy. Before Black Adam came out, The Rock was the most powerful man in Warner Brothers, maybe. Because he was dictating shit. From what we understand, The Rock just walked to the Warner Brothers office and said, I want Henry Cavill back and I want him as Superman in my movie. And like, the way he was talking was like, he was gonna run this whole goddamn show. Like, The Rock was gonna be the architect behind DC. Like, the way he was talking. Like, it's just, that's the vibe you got. And now, he might not even he might not even be a part of DC anymore. It's so crazy how much has changed over these last couple weeks over at DC. But particularly with Black Adam. Black Adam, to me, is gonna be one of those, not maybe quite as known as Fantastic Four, Fan Four stick, as some people say. Maybe not as much drama as that and some other comic book films. But to me, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy in the comic book genre, because The Rock put so much effort into making this. You gotta remember, The Rock was announced to do this movie. This movie was announced almost 8 years ago. The Rock, this has been a passion project for The Rock. The Rock has stuck with it even when he could have left on, moved on to other things. He's stuck with this Black Adam thing. It's moved, it's shifted, it's changed, it's been announced, it's been a whole, so much shit. And obviously, as me and you know, Black Adam should be a Shazam villain, but The Rock wanted to do something different with it, which I understand if you actually go further, but Black Adam was one of those movies that never justified its existence. And the thing about it is, I feel so bad for The Rock because he invested so much time into it. And this movie that a lot of people were anticipating, this movie that had a trailer that a lot of people were anticipating, and you have the biggest actor in Hollywood leading it. It's so crazy. You know, as a comic book fan, we dream of having actors as big as The Rock play our characters, play characters that we know, characters that we love. And it saddens me a bit, even though I didn't like the movie, it does sadden me a bit to see just how far Black Adam fell, just how it never lived up to its hype, and just how, like, things may have been a bit different if maybe The Rock had taken a more hands-off approach and just been the villain in Shazam 2. Because even Shazam 2, when I look at the trailers for it and the villains, I'm like, this feels weird. Like, to me, Shazam has one real true villain, and it is Black Adam. And the sad thing is, we'll never see that confrontation between Zachary Levi, which I love Zachary Levi as Shazam. We'll never see that, confrontation between him and The Rock. We'll never, like, it saddens me a bit. But anyways, I just really wanted to talk about this because there's so much stuff surrounding this movie, Black Adam, between it being a bomb and The Rock putting out lies, between it being canceled and The Rock seemingly not saying anything about it, between Henry Cavill dropping The Rock's ex-wife, who is his agent, as his agent over the drama over this. It just seems like The Rock may have overextended himself. You know, The Rock, he wins at almost everything he does. It was only a matter of time before he took one on the nose. It really was. And Black Adam it's gonna be one of those stain marks on The Rock, right? It's gonna be one of those things people reconsider when they're talking about hiring The Rock to be like the big lead of something. It's gonna be something that's in the back of people's minds. It's like, The Rock went all in on this movie. He was the lead of this movie. This movie was marketed by him. This movie had his face all over it. And it bombed and got canceled. And this franchise never even got started. It really is going to be a black eye on him. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, Tom Cruise was supposed to start a franchise with The Mummy. That went terribly wrong. But you see Tom Cruise in fucking Mission Impossible and Top Gun making $1 billion. So, you know what? One bad move doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean the world. Granted, Tom Cruise wasn't as invested in that fucking Mummy movie as The Rock is in this stuff. But I digress. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, The Rock makes the right decision and come over to Marvel. Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you belong in the MCU. I've always thought he's belonged in the MCU. His entire filmography, his attitude, his sense of humor, his karma, his charisma, his charm, everything about him, his humor, all of it is tailor-made to be in the MCU. Problem is, like some other actors, The Rock likes to have a shit ton of control over the things that he is in. Like, a lot. Like, he likes to have a lot of control, like a hand on that motherfucker. So, it may not happen just because of that alone, but, you know, maybe Kevin Feige can get him in a room, start talking to him and be like, okay, we'll give you this corner of the MCU to kind of do your thing, but you can't, but like, here's the guidelines, but you can kind of do your thing, you can get the director you want to come in and do this, you can do it over there. Maybe he can do that. I don't know what character he would play, though. That's the question. What character would The Rock play? Hyperion? Nah, that'd be cool. What character in the MCU would The Rock play? I'll think about that. That's an entire other video on its own. But anyways, what do you guys think of the tragedy of Black Adam? Just like insane, man. This movie has gone through so much over the last damn near decade. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.